Hi everyone, welcome back to Concept Craft. This is Pratish Kumar Kar, and in today's session, we are going to learn about class 10th chemical reactions and equations, most important questions. Board questions are also included. These are the questions which have high probability to be getting repeated in your upcoming board exams, that is in the year 2027. So, let us move forward. And before starting the question session, we will be discussing about some of the topics which we have left in our previous session. So some of the topics I have just presented in front of you so that you can just have a simple glance and you can just revise the topics. In under that, the first topic is types of reaction and subtopic is endothermic reaction. Basically, what is endothermic reaction? It is a reaction in which the heat is absorbed or used. That is called endothermic reaction. Simple, in a reaction in which heat is absorbed or used is called as endothermic reaction. For example, you can consider calcium carbonate, that is CaCO3, in the presence of heat gives rise to CaO calcium oxide and carbon dioxide CO2. Here the triangle represents heat, means in the chemical equation we doesn't write the word heat, we can simply indicate triangle, and specifically in the endothermic reaction. In exothermic we don't use a symbol triangle, we simply write plus heat, that's it. So this is an example of endothermic reaction. The reaction in which heat is absorbed is called endothermic reaction. Simple, sorted. If we move to our next reaction, it is called as exothermic reaction. What is this reaction? The reaction in which heat is released or liberated is called exothermic reaction. Means it is a type of reaction in which heat is means removed out or it is released out of the reaction. For example, we can consider calcium oxide plus water. Means when these two react, they give calcium hydroxide, which is a slake line. And this, along with this, a large amount of heat is also produced. So after this reaction, if you touch the beaker, then it will be hot, indicating that the temperature has risen and the heat has been liberated. So these are the two types of reaction: exothermic and endothermic reaction. Next, reactivity series. I'm just giving a simple gist about what is reactivity series. More detailedly, we'll be studying in the upcoming sessions of the metals and non-metals lesson. So in that I will give you a complete clear explanation what is reactivity is. Simply just remember the reactivity series is the order in which the metals have been arranged according to their ability to react with other metals, non-metals, elements, etc. So these are some of the metals which I have listed it down, like potassium, sodium, calcium, magnesium, aluminium, zinc, ferrum, which is also known as iron, plumbum, known as lead, hydrogen, cuprum, copper, hydrogenum, mercury, argentum, silver, aurum, gold. So these are some of the metals, and here potassium is the highest reactivity metal, and aurum, that is gold, is least reactive metal. Moving on to the today's session, this today's aim, that is to discuss about the most important questions of CBSE. Means not CBSE, like important questions which have the high probability of being repeated in your upcoming board exam. So this is CBSE 2020 means 2020 set 2 question in which says that which of the following is a combination reaction. According to the definition, when two reactants react together to form a single product, it is known as combination reaction. So this is 2 Mg plus O2 is 2 MgO. The answer, this is the correct answer of combination reaction, because if you see the first one, CaCO3 gives rise to CaO plus CO2, it is a decomposition reaction. Option C, if we see, Zn plus CuSO4 gives rise to ZnSO4 plus Cu. This is a displacement reaction. Last option D is AgNO3 plus NaCl gives rise to AgCl plus NaNO3. It is a double displacement reaction. So option B, that is 2 Mg plus O2 is 2 MgO. It is a type of combination reaction. Moving on to the second question, that is which is from CBSE 2019 set 1 question. It is, I have repeatedly said that this type of questions comes in board exam, especially from this topic, and it is a proof in front of you. White silver chloride turns gray in sunlight. Photochemical decomposition reaction. The topic, remember that. 2AgCl gives us a 2Ag plus Cl2. So they have given the question, the reaction is which type of reaction? According to options, it is decomposition reaction, option C, and more specifically photochemical decomposition reaction is the correct answer. Now next, moving on to the third question, that is it is of CBSE 2018 set 3 question. Which gas is evolved when zinc reacts with dilute HCl? So if you remember the some of the reactions which I've given as examples, In that I have given one equation in which it says zinc plus hydrochloric acid gives rise to zinc chloride plus hydrogen. So hydrogen is a gas, and according to question they are asking which gas must be evolved when zinc reacts with hydrochloric acid. So simple, the answer is option B, hydrogen. Sorted. Let's move to the next question, 2011 question. What is meant by chemical reaction? Simple and easy question, everybody can answer. Just read out the definition. Chemical reaction is a process in which one or more substances change to form new substances with different chemical properties, more specifically. So it is a type of process in which two or more than two substances react together to form a new substance, and the new substance has different chemical properties, and in some cases the physical properties also change. So it is a type of chemical reaction. This question was repeated in CBSE 2011 last, and after that it has not been repeated. So please be careful. If your luck is bad, then this time it can come. Moving on to the next question, this is CBSE 2010 question. What happens when quicklime reacts with water? Simple, I have given you the same equation at the starting of the video, that is exothermic reaction, in which we have seen the equation that CaO plus H2O gives rise to CaOH twice plus heat. That is calcium oxide plus water gives rise to calcium hydroxide plus heat. So calcium hydroxide is also known as slaked lime. So slaked lime is formed with the release of heat. So this question, if they ask, just you write the equation, remember the equation, write it, and write below. If instead of slaked lime, if you have calcium hydroxide also, it's well and fine, you will get the marks. So you can write slaked lime is formed with the release of heat, and more specifically, if you want to write very precisely, you can write slaked lime bracket calcium hydroxide is formed with the release of excess amount of heat. Yes, this is shorted. If we move to the next question, this is CBSE 2012 question. The question says, what is rancidity? Rancidity, if you remember the video or if you've seen the video, in the video I have said that rancidity is the process where the foods get destroyed or they get poisoned because of the oxidation of the oils and fats present in the food. So simple, that same definition you can write here. Rancidity is the oxidation of oils and fats in the food that causes unpleasant smell and taste. And if you want to write still more precisely, rancidity is the oxidation of oils and fats in the food that causes unpleasant smell and taste and can cause food poisoning if ingested. This is the answer. This is the CBSE 2012 question, and please remember the answer. You can write this. Moving on to the next question, very silliest question, but it was asked in CBSE 2014. Be careful, if your luck is bad, then this time also it can be repeated. Question says, what does the symbol down arrow indicate in the chemical equation? You must have noticed in some of the equations a down arrow will be indicated, especially in double displacement reaction. This reaction shows the formation of precipitate. If we take any of the example like BaCl2 plus Na2SO4 gives us to BaSO4 plus 2 NaCl. In this, BaSO4 will be indicated with down arrow mark because BaSO4 is a precipitate. What is precipitate? It is an insolute solid formed when the double displacement reaction takes place. So it is a precipitation. Double displacement reaction is also known as precipitation reaction, and the precipitate formed will be indicated by down arrow. One more thing, if a down arrow indicates precipitate, then what does the up arrow indicate? Comment this in the comment box. So these are the thing which can be asked. Sometimes it has been asked. You can see the proof is CBSE 2014 question. Moving to again CBSE 2014's one more question. What is observed when potassium iodide Ki reacts with lead nitrate, that is PbNO3 twice. So and write the balanced chemical equation. What happens when potassium iodide reacts with lead nitrate? I guess I did not give the equation, but remember this question has come. So when the potassium iodide reacts with lead nitrate, then a yellow precipitate of lead iodide is formed. So the lead iodide, which means you can see there is a double displacement reaction which takes place, and in which the lead iodide, that is the yellow precipitate, will be formed. If you want to remember the equation, so this is the equation given on the screen, just by heart it. PbNO3 twice plus 2Ki gives us to PbI2 plus 2KNO3. So this is a type of double displacement reaction, also known as precipitation reaction. Remember the answer, that is the yellow precipitate of lead iodide is formed. Just this thing sorted. If we move to the next question, so CBSE 2016 question is list four observations that indicate a chemical reaction has taken place. So what are the four observations? I said you that they can ask the question and question can be of any form. They can change the color like chameleon. It can also change the color and means change the form of question and can ask. Remember, whenever they ask observations or characteristics or proofs, you have to write the characteristics, or like in the video session I've given you the characteristics that you have to write. Like here they have given the question list four observations that indicate a chemical reaction. Instead they could have asked list four characteristics of a chemical reaction or list four proofs that a chemical reaction has taken place. If they ask like this question, you have to write only these four things, that is change in color, evolution of gas, shape or change in temperature, formation of precipitate. That's it, simple, sorted. This is CBSE 2016 question, remember. Moving on to 10th question, CBSE 2017 question. Differentiate between oxidation and reduction. Most important, very important question. What is difference between oxidation and reduction reaction? So simple, who have seen my video, they can easily remember. Addition of oxygen and removal of hydrogen is called oxidation. Reduction is just the opposite, removal of oxygen and addition of hydrogen. Simple. If you want to write the example, you can write an example of redox reaction. It is better because in that both oxidation and reduction, both processes are mentioned, due to which it will be easy for the evaluator to give you the marks. So oxidation is the addition of oxygen, reduction is removal of oxygen. Example, if you see CuO plus H2 gives you Cu plus H2O. Here you can see CuO is converted into Cu, which is a reduction, and H2 is getting converted into H2O, which is oxidation. Next, we go to CBSE 2015 set 1 question, which asks us the following question. Write a balanced chemical equation. I mean, first question is what is balanced chemical equation? Simple. Whoever remember that equation means like a definition that what is balancing a balanced chemical equation, they can answer it. Balanced chemical equation means that the total number of mass must be equal in the reactant side also and product side also. So balanced equation I have given it shortly. If you want, you can extend it means still more precisely if I give you the answer. The total number of atoms, a balanced equation is when the total number of atoms is on the reactant side is always equal to the total number of atoms on the product side. This much is the definition of balanced chemical equation. Now next question they are asking, write a balanced chemical equation for burning of natural gas, respiration and phosphorus reacting with chlorine. So natural gas, for your kind information, I just give that natural gas chemical formula is CH4. So it is also known as methane. In carbon and compounds lesson, we will be learning more about it. So CH4, that is methane, when it reacts with oxygen, it gives carbon dioxide and water. When C6H12O6, just comment what is this compound. C6H12O6, what is the name? You just comment below. Plus 6O2 gives us to 6CO2 plus 6H2O plus energy. This is respiration. And last, phosphorus reacting with chlorine. This is a type of weird equation, but you must read it. P4 plus 10Cl2 gives us to 4PCl5. Little weird, but you must remember it. Moving on to CBSE 2013 question. Explain two methods to prevent rancidity. I have given you four methods. In that, any two methods you can write. Here I have written add antioxidants, store food in nitrogen atmosphere. Other two are keeping the object, means a food item, away from the heat and light. And last but not the least, using of refrigerator. That's it, simple, sorted. If we move to the next question, it says it is a case-based question, most important, and this question is also the most important. It is given in sample paper, but most of the time it is being repeated in other questions also. So the question says is, a student burns magnesium in air. It burns with dazzling white flame and forms a white powder. So what does this question says is all about magnesium. So whenever you read I give you a simple trick. Whenever you read a case-based study, first remember which equation is being used in that thing. Like if we see the example here, magnesium ribbon. Remember which equation is used in this magnesium ribbon. That is 2Mg plus O2 gives us to 2MgO. That equation is used in this. So you must remember according to case base what equation must be used, and I bet that on that equation only the further questions will be asked. Simple. So the equation which is used here is 2Mg plus O2 gives rise to 2MgO. This is the equation. Moving on to the questions. Wow, name the white powder formed. See, I said that the questions will be formed on the basis of the equation. The first question is what is a white powder formed? When 2Mg reacts with O2, it gives us a 2MgO. MgO is also known as magnesium oxide. This is the answer. Next question is write a balanced chemical equation. I bet I said you that remember the equation. The equation must be written 2 mg plus O2 this is a 2 mgo. Third, identify the type of reaction. This type of reaction is known as combination reaction. Means it is a type of reaction in which the two reactants that is Mg and O2 combine to form MgO. Moving on to the next question, why should magnesium ribbon be cleaned before burning? Very, very, very important question. Why it is removed? Because when magnesium is kept open in the air, then the oxygen which is available in the atmosphere reacts with magnesium and form a layer called magnesium oxide. This becomes hindrance for the fire or whatever heat to react with the magnesium and start burning. Because of this, we take a sandpaper and clean the layer of magnesium oxide so that the magnesium ribbon can be burnt easily. So the answer is to remove magnesium oxide layer. Next question. A white colored compound silver chloride AgCl is taken in a test tube and placed in sunlight. After some time the color of the substance changes to grey. I said that this question particularly comes in board exam paper, and if we need the proof, see CBSE 2018, CBSE 2019, CBSE 2020, CBSE sample paper and many more only on this topic decomposition reaction and specifically photochemical decomposition reaction. The CBSE asks questions so much. So just remember again the same trick. Remember the equation. Which equation must be used? Photochemical decomposition reaction 2AgCl gives rise to 2Ag plus Cl2 in the presence of sunlight. That's the equation, and I bet on that equation only the questions further will be asked. First, identify the type of reaction. Silliest question but most important question. The answer is photochemical decomposition reaction. This is the answer. So sorted. This is CBSE 2018 question. Moving on to next question, that is write a balanced chemical equation. I said you write. If you remember the equation, then the whole game will be on that itself. So balanced chemical equation is 2AgCl gives rise to 2Ag plus Cl2 in the presence of sunlight. So this is a balanced chemical equation. Remember it. Moving on to the next question, why does the color change occur? Why does the color change occur? Because silver metal is formed. So if you see the decomposition reaction, AgCl was silver in color, but when it got decomposed, it become gray because the silver chloride is decomposed and it breaks down into two products, silver and chlorine. Since chlorine is a gas, it gets evaporated or it gets blown up in the air. But the silver is gray in color and which remains back. And so the color change occurs from silver to gray. Simple sorted. This was CBSE 2020 question. Moving on to the last question and very important question. State one application of this reaction. This reaction is used in black and white photography. Now your question is what is black and white photography? So you use filters right in your mobile, that black and white that thing. But that black and white thing in earlier times they were using their cameras and all to shoot movies and photos and all. So that they were bringing with the help of that AgCl reaction that they do some reaction you study in your higher class, and you get that gray color which is used in black and white photography. Most important, remember. So this was total today's session. I hope you would not have any doubt from this lesson about how questions will be asked and how twisted way they will ask. If you have any doubt, just comment below and I will surely reply your means comments. So stay tuned till next video. Next video will be on our physics light lesson. Explanation will be there. Then after that we will also discuss some important questions, and I will be bringing the videos on the NCERT exercises, like exercises also, and even the activities also, which will be very helpful to you because questions are asked from there. Till then, stay safe, stay smiling, and thank you so much. Meet you all in next lesson. Bye.